Okay, so it seems that we might have a little bit of an update to the whole Female Rover CN VA situation. Now, if you don't know, obviously the Female Rover VA has now been replaced, or has been at least removed, as far as we know, due to some drama to do with XJJ, the Jia group, which has been obviously targeting a lot of different games, and is a extreme like horror group, which has been, they got after like Ark Knights, they got after Wuthering Waves, obviously, and some other games as well. Anything that kind of goes against their own, great game or whatever they want to call it, right? But essentially, some people called out the fact that the female CN VA was involved pretty heavily in a lot of this stuff that was going on, and then obviously Wuthering Waves came out with the announcement that she'd been officially removed, because I was very skeptical about a lot of this stuff that came out about this voice actor, as I thought, this seems a little bit far-fetched, this seems pretty crazy. And also you guys can go back and watch my previous video if you don't know what I'm talking about, but it seems a bit far-fetched and stuff, right? And then they came out with this, and I was like, oh damn, okay, well, some of it's got to be true if they've literally got rid of her, which I think is pretty crazy. But it seems like we have an update from the actual voice actor themselves. Let's say update from the voice actor. I leave it to everyone's discretion to what they think. I would say she's trying to shift accountability, because she technically only indirectly helped in doxing. You don't masterly only WuWa player comments and try to wait it out for 2 days. So yeah, obviously this is the comment. They put a ton of different kind of screenshots there from the voice actor, right? And this is it translated. They say a brief explanation for everyone. A clearer video will be available later. On the night of September 5th, I posted an update, and shortly after, I was subjected to severe cyberbullying and doxing at 12:30 a.m. My phone was bombarded with a massive number of SMS verification codes. I immediately reported to the police and contacted a lawyer. However, the law firm could only proceed with the paperwork today, so it's only now that I've officially commissioned the lawyer to take legal action. I haven't slept well these past 2 nights, constantly collecting material for the lawsuit. I didn't speak up publicly, because the more I say, the more trouble it can bring, especially if I have to release any footage. From beginning to end, I have never incited cyber violence. On the contrary, I am the one whose personal information was exposed and attacked. Early this morning, I was rushed to the law firm for an emergency meeting, just signed the legal documents to entrust the lawyers with the lawsuit, and was about to go home to make a clearer video when I was suddenly informed of a saddening piece of news. The situation is far more complicated than I imagined. We're still working on verifying the truth behind it. Please give me some time, and I ask those who are willing to trust me to wait a bit longer, just a bit longer. So yeah, she's obviously come out with that, talking about it, and she was saying, on the night of September 5th, she woke up to her own self being cyberbullied and doxed by people, which is obviously terrible, and obviously anybody getting doxed in any situation is terrible, but obviously it does seem like she's trying to make herself seem a little bit more like the victim here. I'm gonna be honest, whenever you start it off with that, rather than getting down to the actual refuting a lot of the points and stuff, because again, you should be refuting a lot of the points that have been brought up against you, but that's just not really what's happening here. They're saying that they've been taking a lot of legal action, which maybe this will reveal a lot more of what has actually gone on behind the scenes. But yeah, people are very skeptical about this response. People saying she claimed to be harassed on September 5th, but waited until September 8th after getting fired to tell the public about it. Try better next time. She also said she was bombarded with SMS, but she didn't provide a single picture to prove it. Again, I think these are the pictures here. I'm not sure if any of these include any of the kind of SMS stuff that she's been getting, but again, I think that possibly could be it. He was saying, I can't hold my laughter, bro. I said, why is she acting like the victim? Which, yeah, it definitely seems like that's how it's come across here. She started off the article essentially saying that she was being cyberbullied and doxed, which, again, as I said, is terrible. But at the same time, you've been accused of doing the same to other people. Why not clear that up first and then go into the fact of how you've been attacked? I think, obviously it's very weird, and it does seem like they're trying to play the victim card here. But again, as I said, we'll have to wait to see what kind of happens with this, because they don't really go into detail about exactly what had happened and how much they were kind of involved with the situation. They say, from beginning to end, I've never incited cyber violence. On the contrary, I am the one whose personal information was exposed and attacked. Like, again, they didn't really say exactly what kind of involvement they've had, but they've also said at the same, they said they've never incited cyber violence, right? But they never said they weren't involved. They never said they were not involved in this group. They said they never said they were not involved with any of the situation that has come out, which is very interesting to me because, again, usually with a kind of response to that, you would literally just straight up say, I'm not involved with XJJ, never talked to them in my life, whatever, if you weren't actually involved with the situation and all of it was untrue, right? But obviously it doesn't seem like this is the case, and it seems like to me this is almost a kind of, you know, proof that she is involved with it in some way. Now, whether she was the one going out inciting cyber violence or whatever, you know, maybe she wasn't, but, you know, obviously there is still the fact that she was interacting with these groups, which are obviously well known to be very kind of problematic in the space and problematic in their country as well. You know, apparently the Chinese government have been literally after them, you know, and after a lot of the leaders for so long. Why would you even get involved with that in the first place? And obviously what kind of baffles a lot of people as well is the fact that, you know, she used to be getting attacked by a lot of the Hoyoverse kind of you know, audience and stuff. You know, you remember the Kokomi thing. She's also the voice actor for Kokomi. You know, she was also attacked by them whenever her kit wasn't good enough or whatever, right? Which is crazy because Kokomi is actually pretty decent. But anyways, you know, obviously people were confused by that as well, because it's like, you know, you just literally got attacked by the Hoyo community, and now you're deciding to side with one of the most extreme Hoyo groups that was probably partially involved in, you know, attacking you, which is, I think it's crazy, you know, how she's just kind of switched sides like that. But again, you know, I don't know how people think, you know, maybe it's just something happened along the way that convinced her or whatever, but I do think it is a very, very confusing situation as a whole. And I think this kind of post here, this reply, doesn't really add too much to it, but it also tells us a lot about, you know, her involvement and whether, you know, she believes that she was involved in certain things and not in certain things. Again, there is no mention of XJJ here and saying that she wasn't a part of it, which definitely makes me think that, you know, obviously she could potentially have been a, you know, part of it, which I think is interesting. Some people saying victim card, where were thoughts when she was rage baiting and talking about WuWa players on her live stream? Where's her sense when the community first asked for only an apology? Scared now the courier has removed her, and next might be Hypergriff. They said, I'm the victim, please guys believe me, it was those evil courier bots, not me. Update, all the post is an attempt to garner sympathy and rile up her Hoyo Show followers. Said, holy W Kuro for getting rid of her, instantly crying and playing the victim. I hope Kuro uses Tencent's lawyers to screw her fully. Which, yeah, obviously a lot of people are not happy with her and her response here, which I can definitely understand, as this is not good enough. But again, as she says in this post, I think she's looking to post another video or post or whatever, anything, kind of further explaining her situation, which I'm going to be very interested to see in, you know, what is going on and everything, because again, it is a very complicated situation, it seems like. And yeah, I'd just like some extra context on really what is going on, because again, this kind of response just doesn't look too good for her, and a lot of people are not happy at all. But yeah, that's essentially the whole update to this situation. If you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. What do you think about this kind of response? Do you think it was good or not? Do you think there's some stuff missing? What would you like to see her talking about? Because again, I'm very interested in what you guys have to say. And yeah, go to GameSubs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.